Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good any time of the day or night, wherever you are. Peace and blessings, and thank you for joining me again. So, tonight I want to talk about some things which I hope will not get me violated. I did get violated on a video, not sure why. I did send a message to TikTok to find out why it was violated, and so we'll find out, and I will do my best not to violate again because I don't want to get kicked off. Anyway, this is going to be one of those subjects tonight which I think we need to have. And I was just looking over some statistics. And right now I'm looking at the U.S. Committee for Refugees and Immigrants. And it just dawned on me. Now, let me just say this. Ukrainians, whoever needs to come to the United States of America, especially if they're fleeing war in their own country, I don't have anything against that at all. But I do notice the differences that are made between people who look like Donald Trump and people who don't. Okay, we'll just say it like that. This is Congress restores access to benefits for thousands of Ukrainians. Now, the numbers are that there have been at least 187,000 Ukrainians migrate to the U.S. Because of the war. Again, understandable. But there are some things that I'm reading here that I'm like, oh, okay, this is a little bit different. So in May of 2022, Congress authorized Ukrainian humanitarian parolees to receive resettlement assistance and other benefits available to refugees, including cash assistance, federal mainstream benefits, cash management, legal services, and more. Now, the benefits were only supposed to last between February 24th, 2022 and September 30th, 2023. However, as I read at the beginning of this, Congress did reinstate or restore access to those benefits for the Ukrainians. Okay, and I'm like, again, I'm not begrudging them anything that they got. I just think that it should be fair and equitable, because certainly Ukrainians were not said to be eating the dogs and eating the cats and eating the pets. They weren't, okay? And Congress, it says here, approved $481 million in supplemental funding for the Office of Refugee Resettlement, as well as $9.15 billion in other humanitarian aid. Also, in the United States of America, there are 4.7 million Europeans, people who migrated from countries in Europe. Now, the places that the non-Europeans came from were called S-holes. Y'all remember that? Puerto Rico went to war with a hurricane called Maria. And that was in 2017. Now it's 2024, almost the end of 2024, and they're still recovering. And their aid was held up. And Puerto Rico suffered earthquakes in 2019 and 2020. You know, earthquakes kind of leave the place looking like it was bombed. But they did get paper towels. I'm just saying. And it just didn't seem like it took Congress a very long time to get this aid together for the Ukrainians who had been displaced because of the war. I remember watching an interview one time, and Andrea Mitchell was the reporter. She was talking to a lady who had come here with her son. Her husband stayed behind. And of course, she was very concerned about her husband, but she was doing the interview in this Ukrainian lady's apartment that had been provided by the United States of America. And when I tell you that this was a nice apartment, I'm talking granite countertops and stainless steel appliances, and yeah, real nice. Schools were set up with a cultural curriculum so the Ukrainians would not forget their culture. But for some people who don't look like Donald Trump, their culture has been taken completely out of school curriculum, or the stories have been changed. And as we're talking about immigrants, let's talk about Elon Musk, who was born in Pretoria, South Africa. Isn't that funny? Elon Musk is an African. Yeah. And he left when he was 18, went to Canada with his mother. And then, as from what I read, he came to the United States and in 2022 became an American citizen. My question is, when all of these deportations begin in these United States of America, how many people that don't look like me are going to be included in that? How many immigrants, whether or not they've been naturalized, how many of those are going to be part of that deportation process? I'm just asking. I think it's a legitimate question. We've heard people call for the Haitians that were in Springfield, Ohio, to be sent back to where they came from. I don't know. Ukrainians came over here, absolutely needed the help that was provided to them, but there wasn't any fuss about them being immigrants. Not one word. Nobody was complaining. We just need to be mindful of what we face. It's never been equal for us, for those of us who don't look like Donald Trump or Elon Musk. He's probably going to get a pass. He doesn't look like he was born in Africa. Even though he was born and raised in South Africa. And let's remember that 19% of the U.S. workforce is comprised of immigrants. So if he's going to kick them all out, who's going to do the work? Just one of those things that make you go, All right. Peace and blessings. Thank you for joining me. We will see you next time. And until next time, stay woke.